JJK Chapter 265 was the chapter we did. Now, what do I mean? I'm pretty sure that every one of us, and I mean every one of us at this point, was experiencing somewhat of a fatigue when it came to reading JJK. And why were we experiencing that fatigue? Was because definitely we were watching fight upon fight upon fight. Now, when I say fatigue, I don't mean it like in a broad sense. I mean that a lot of people were just experiencing it a little bit, me for instance, and for some people they were definitely experiencing it a lot. And that's the reason why every time you went on YouTube, you saw phrases like the Sukuna cycle or the rest, which I'm also going to make a video about, so stay tuned for that video. But what exactly am I trying to say? Well, what I'm trying to say is that this was a chapter that was much needed because this gave us time for us to actually cool down. This gave us a lot of time for us to actually have a somewhat slice of life type of chapter that was much needed. Enough fighting, enough cliffhangers, just talking. And I won't lie, as I read this chapter, I couldn't help but feel happy. So yeah, what's up guys, my name is Richard from Reels 101, back again with another video. And in today's video I want to talk about JJK chapter 265. So without any further ado, let's just get right into this video. Now, this chapter starts off with Yuji and Sukuna in that same train station that we met them in the previous chapter, and Sukuna speculates that this is probably the event that happened when two fighters are like completely locked in. And now we have seen this thing kind of happen with Yuji whenever he's fighting somebody and is able to connect with the person. Todo as an example, which is actually a very good example when it comes to that. And now generally the chapter goes on as Yuji starts to explain, Yuji starts to tell Sukuna about his past. Now, I am really not going to go much into the old details because above the surface level, there is actually a much deeper meaning when it comes to the different places that Yuji takes Sukuna to. So I'm not really going to go there. I'm going to go more on the surface level where I'm really going to explain what I take from it. And yeah, let's just continue with the chapter review. And now we see Yuji takes Sukuna to different places: a park, a place where there is horses, a place where he challenges Sukuna to some archery. And generally, what is all this trying to say? This was Yuji trying to somewhat reason and relate with Sukuna. And at one point we could see that Sukuna was actually getting vexed, and it was like, tell me exactly what you are trying to say, this boy, because we all know that Yuji's number one hater is definitely Sukuna. And then Yuji straight up tells Sukuna, he says this directly to Sukuna's face. He was like, this is your last chance. I literally have the ability to end you right now. If you come back to my body, I will spare you. Just make sure you abandon Fushiguro's body. And now this is where Sukuna flares up and is like, Yuji, you are gravely mistaken. And Sukuna says that once he is done with Yuji, Yuji will definitely regret being born. Now, what did I get from this chapter? One thing I definitely got from this chapter is that Yuji as a character hasn't really changed when it comes to the spectrum of him being an overall generous, gentle, good-hearted and kind soul. Now, this is something that completely flew over my head because as I continued reading JJK, I kept on having the impression that Yuji's character took a dark turn because of the dark events that have been happening in Yuji's life. And I really thought that the innocent, childish, heartwarming kid that we knew in the early section of JJK had completely disappeared. And this chapter just emphasized how much pure and innocent Yuji really is, how much of a good person Yuji really is, that even though Sukuna has done everything despicable when it comes to tormenting Yuji, Yuji is still willing to give Sukuna the benefit of the doubt. And Yuji is telling Sukuna that, bro, this is your last chance. And honestly, I just find this very amazing. Like, definitely we all need a Yuji in our life. We all need someone that is just overall cool. And upon reading this manga, it just made me more and more respect and love Yuji as a character. And really, I really enjoyed this chapter. I really enjoyed it because to me it was a really needed chapter, in of the sense that now we can rest and now we are ready for the upcoming battle of Yuji versus Sukuna. So generally, I know that this is a very short review video, if it's even a review video, but I just really wanted to put this video out to like give my thoughts and opinion on this new chapter. And yeah, this is just everything I have to say concerning the latest chapter of JJK 265. Hopefully, we cannot wait for the new chapter to come out. We cannot wait for Yuji versus Sukuna. I really can't wait. I know that Gege will definitely cook, because Gege has always been cooking, and this is something I really respect him for. So yeah, that'll be all for today's video, guys. If you like anything I have to say, make sure you drop a comment, make sure you like the video, and make sure you share. You really be doing me a very good favor. And yeah, that'll be all for today's video, guys. Make sure you do have a nice day, and I'll see you guys later.